you must, now I realize I must focus on living long. That is the patient that I said, he said, Doc, I'm not interested in dying because everybody will die unless you are God. But I want to enjoy life. And enjoying life, and that's where other things later on we'll discuss coming. But I'm using him as an example where he made me understand. If you do things well, after 65 years,
just enjoy.
Life is surplus. And he told me 75 is 10 years beyond when they hit. Now he's 87. He is in a totally different place. So I realized there is a benefit for us. So I realized it to be on. I don't know whether it to be. It is great. We can never tell about when we go, but the beauty of life. And most of my patients that I see, I have a 94-year-old, right, who is my friend, and I have a 90. Michael has seen them working in my office, right? He's seen them, and these people, it's like I consider them overflow. When we say overflow, these are the people that are having really the overflow. So, back to the question again. Why should a person, right? Why should a person, because you hear the point here, the person makes $10, the person makes $20. Why should they have financial literacy? And what can you tell them? Give us an example that with financial literacy, even with their $10 or $20 per hour or $15 per hour, they can because my patients, I ask them, I said, no, we are not rich, but we, and truly they are not, but they go on 3 months, and one of them, whenever I don't find her, I tell my patients, you will not find her from January till May.
The cold months.
Yes, the cold months, they are all over the world. They cruise for a month. From there, they go to the south. So back to you. What would you say? Because a lot of people, right, think that this discussion about literacy is for the world to do. What are the things that somebody that is earning $20 can do now? Especially, I realize the younger you are, the better.
So you want to let your money work harder for you than you working for your money.
Yes.
And it just comes back to time value of money compounding.
Yes.
So you'd be surprised what $20 a month can do for you over 20 years.
Okay, so give an example, right? This is the perfect what are you talking about? What just one thing that people will be talking about these details when you come. The person is putting down $20 or $30 a month. What product, just one product a person can put down? That there are many other things out there. They are not super expensive.
Yeah. So I would say that one of the flagship solutions out there is called the Index Universal Life Insurance, whereby it depends on your age and your health. So you could be paying, I don't want to say anything because it's very it depends on your health.
I can say it. I mean, none of them don't depend on your health. Just by being 70 years, you are not going to get universal whole life insurance.
No, because you had to get it earlier. It's always good to lock your health in when you are young.
Yes.
And it's always, I don't want to use the word cheap. It's always affordable when you're relatively young.
It is relatively cheap.
young.
Let me give you an example. Okay, so we're talking about a good man leaves an inheritance for his children. So when I was in residency, one of my junior guys, his grandfather got a financial product that he was paying around grandfather, right? The grandfather was paying at that time, I don't know whether it's $10 or $20. I know it was max of about $100.
Okay.
So when the grandfather got old, he asked that guy's father to pay. I'm talking about father to pay. And then the father, when this guy got into residency, the father asked this guy to start making the payments. And interestingly, they changed the inheritance to go to this guy. And whilst we were in school, the guy grandfather died. And that is when I realized that this grandparents business is huge in this country. Okay. So, Ghana is big, but boy, here is even like bigger. And because I was close to him, I got to know that he had purchased a house. And he had purchased the house, and he purchased the house. I'm going to something here. And he put down $500,000 for the house. Money. And that money came from the inheritance of the grandparents. So it's one example where the grandparent was paying little, but he lived enough to transfer the wealth to the child for them to have it. That was a case of a life insurance that I saw. But there are many other tools that they had, right? Even talking about stock exchange, right? That we'll talk about. I know that in 2008, when the market hit, some of the banks now, their assets, their shares were less than $1. Those banks now, you don't want to talk about their shares now. Just think about, just think about how much people who bought the shares at that time, how much money they have. Even on the average, it is known that if you can wait enough, your stock market goes up by around 7% on the average, right? So even for the poor person, no matter how poor you are talking about the fact that they can do something so that their money will work for them instead of they working for money. If I'm getting you right, can you lay emphasis on that point? No matter who you are, God has given opportunity for money to work for you rather than you working for money. Because most of our lives we are working for money, but the rules in this country has been made that your money can work for you, and it looks like everybody should have that opportunity where you are working for money and your money is also working for you. So how can you highlight that to the person that is poor?
Yeah, so ultimately you have to review what you're doing and be strategic, as in I need to put my money where it will actually work for me, as in how much interest rate am I even getting? Because if the interest rate is anywhere in and around inflation, it means you're not really making anything. Okay. So it's like you want to be at least 7% or more and enjoy compound interest. And also use strategies that are tax-free, because it's all about taxes.
Okay, so there are many, many tools there, right? But I want to get a lot of people there because I believe that if we can get them there at the end of the day, that is how we're going to make the difference, right? And I can tell you that most people don't have any financial tool, but based on the knowledge that is going to be shared, right? People's life can be much better, not only now, but then, right? So let's talk about an example, right? That I came to realize. A lot of people here will want to see it very plainly, right? I learned from that. When I came to this country, somebody was saying, there's a story that I heard. An immigrant came to this country and somebody said, oh, my house is going to be foreclosed. He said, oh, thank God. The immigrant, they don't understand the word foreclosure because from where they are coming from, they don't understand the word what? There is no foreclosure in Ghana. So if you are talking about foreclosure, he thought that foreclosure means that you're going to beautify your house and make your house nice. So the person got angry and they didn't like the person from that on. But let's talk about it. Like we talk about getting an interest rate of
7% or more.
Let's say 6%. For a house worth 400,000, 500,000 for a 30-year mortgage, right? For a 30-year mortgage, think about it. If you are going to pay 6% for 30 years, how much interest will you pay? I did a calculation. It is 180% as interest. So my understanding based on that means that for every house you finish paying, you would have paid 2 houses for the person that gave you money. It's such a... So, yet, right, getting a house at every cost, far beyond sometimes our means, is part of the injustice that people, I believe, go through. So, the higher you go for it, the more. So if anybody is able to pay off, bought a $500,000 house, and then you have a 6% interest, you are paying, you pay twice a house as interest.
Hopefully the interest rates will drop and you'll be able to refinance.
Yes.
Hopefully.
But even when you have, so let's think about it. So we're talking about some of the injustice and why what you are doing is a far better place than some of the things that are going out there. Because I want to bring in, we'll talk about life insurance, we'll talk about stocks, people need to know that it's not only even life insurance. There are many strategies out there. And that's why now at my level, I can talk about SEP. I can talk about other things. I remember when my wife was talking about life insurance, from Ghana's perspective, is death. So if somebody start talking to me, if you die, I say, you are a demon, get away from me, right? But now I understand it from
the various kinds.
Yes, but now I understand it from the concept of living long. I can't imagine what my life will be if I'm healthy at 75. I cannot even contemplate what it is. And my prayer is that may God, and that's why we'll be talking about the concept of health. Yeah. Because if the longer you live, if you have these financial tools, if
you get to enjoy, because what's the point in living when you run out of money?
Yes, and you will live unless you commit suicide, right? Yep. So that's what my patient told me, that dog, unless you plan to do something bad tonight, you'll be alive tomorrow.
And the only way you can get there is compound interest.
Yes, it is part of it. But I think even the bases are there for people to understand. And that is what we want people to know, that there are many other tools out there which, if they become financially literate, you just don't ask for long life, but you want to ask for good long life. So that at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, they will enjoy life. So you ask God to live long, but that is going to be able to help you. And because we want to talk to people who at this point can make a decision in terms of life insurance, in terms of stocks, in terms of other things, because sometimes the whole goal here is getting a house. But from what I'm getting,
real estate is just one of.
Yes. But from what I'm getting, to get a 30-year mortgage at 5 to 6%, you are paying twice that money for another person. Yeah. Just think about putting down that money for SEP, the same amount of money that you paid for interest, down as SEP. In 20 years' time, amount of money that you will gain is almost... But these things are things that people need to what? To know.
No.
And that is why I believe that people should be able to come. So... because most people, the first goal is, okay, a house. But I tell people, get a house that is affordable. Because people don't know that, once we'll talk about injustice. A lot of people do not know that when you buy a house, your first payments are the interest that they take from you. The principal is left, essentially intact. You pay off your first 5 years of payment is paying off the interest. And they have allowed the industry to shape it that way. So if you live in a house, if you have a 30-year mortgage and if you live in a house for 10 years, and you are coming out of the house in 10 years, it's a loss. Because most of your payments, almost as have been bought, has gone towards your interest. So there are many things that people, so to your question again, because I want the young people to be there. I want the person that earns $10 to be there. Mm-hmm. We want the person who thinks that I can't have enough to be there. How do we use the story of what Elisha did to the woman to tell people, Michael, whether you earn $200,000 a year or you are earning $10 a month, you can do something. We have something for you. How do you convince? Because I am convinced, and I see wastage in my. I tell people I could have bought a house probably 3 times the house I live in now, or probably 4 times the house I live in now. Mm-hmm. But I chose to make that decision so that it is not going to be troubling for me, and trusting the Lord that I can pay off the house very fast. Because when I started paying off my mortgage, even for my mortgage, every month I pay $500 more. Because somebody called me and told me. I'm talking about a lot of financial tools. So, for instance, a lot of people do not know that if you contribute 2% to your 401k, your employer is not required to contribute towards you. But if you contribute 4%, your employer is required to add another 4%. What, Michael, where are you going? Come back, okay? So what do you say about that?
In respect to 401k?
No, in respect to some of these tools that for the people that I say, I'm young, this is for elderly people. What do you want to tell them that everybody...
Ultimately, knowledge is power.
Yes.
So the more knowledge you have, it will help you make an informed decision.
Okay.
So that you know confidently that if I'm going with this strategy in my portfolio, it can take care of ABC. Because several of us just select without knowing.
And that is what I did. To be honest with you, that is what I did.
A lot of people, they just select without knowing the strengths or the weaknesses of that particular strategy.
Yes.
So through this exercise, you'll be able to know. And we can actually go beyond that to even sit down with people on a one-on-one free to help them. And then you be in a better position to make the decision with whatever you're getting yourself into.
Okay. So as we say in the Bible, there is no distinction. Everybody can come.
Everybody can come.
And are you saying the earlier you make the decision, the better?
Yes, because we only have limited slots. So the earlier you register, you secure your slot.
What about making the earlier you made the decision about better financial planning, the better for you in life?
The earlier, the better, because you have more time ahead to let your money work for you.
Very good.
But if you don't make that decision till about when you're closer to retirement, it's just going to take you more money coming out of your pocket to get to where you need to
Even beyond retirement. I mean, I don't seek to retire. My prayer is because
goals.
Yes, exactly, right?
Or goals. Assuming you want to make $1 million, right? If you start out in your 20s,
yes,
you will get to your destination with little stress than somebody who is 50 and suddenly realizes that, oh my God, I need $1 million. That's going to cost them a lot.
I think that's the problem of Michael now. He wants to make 1 million today. But we want people to understand that you can still make that one, but it's little drops of water that makes a mighty ocean.
Using the right vehicle.
Exactly. Right? Somebody said the concept of little drops of water making a mighty ocean is because the drops goes into the bucket. If the drops fall outside the bucket, it's a very intuitive concept that the person said. He said, we are all dropping something. But is your drops going into your bucket? Or is your drop going in what? So we want people to, because we want to end this here. Because here we are talking about 3 principles. Number 1, where we feel that This is not about death. This is about you enjoying life.
Living.
This is not about
letting your money work for you
exactly.
whilst you're here.
Yeah, very
and it will take you to the long haul.
Yeah.
If God calls you as 120, you still have money there, right?
Money there. So it's about you enjoying life. So that's what I want people to understand. And I think the second concept here that we've talked about is irrespective of your income, irrespective, there are tools out there. Sure. You can never be too rich for financial tools, and you can never be too poor for financial tools. You can always make a decision. So everybody should come. I mean, and the earlier you come by. And the last point then before we go, what about the people who said, oh, it's too late?
It's too late. There are other strategies for them. There are other strategies for them. There's something for everybody.
I am old now, right? That's what they say. I am old now. So how do you convince people that said, I am old now, I can't get it? I tried, because I can tell you, I know people. We talk about
you can't get what
they can, for instance, right? We talk about universal life insurance. Most people don't qualify.
So there's a workaround. There's another strategy.
So that is the answer that you are talking about, right?
There's another strategy, yeah.
Even in that case, you as an expert can tell. So what do you tell them? Because I tell them there are many financial tools out there for you to know. So how do you tell the people that said, I am too old, I am too sick, I am too this, it's late for me?
So
what will you tell them?
So what we'll do is
so that they can still come to the conference.
Yes. So basically, everybody's case is different. So we call ourselves we're money doctors. So when you come to us, we talk to you, and then there's softwares that we're able to assess the entire picture. So just by assessing the entire picture, then we'll come up with recommendations depending on what's going on. So there's something for everybody. That's all I'll say.
Yes, and the I just want to add them back to the scripture again. You know, we are Christians. We want people to understand, because I believe that if you are a child of God and you get money, you can help people. You make our world better. Money in the hands of a Christian is the tool for the greater good of all our community. I, as a doctor, I'm not earning money because of myself, but that through us, God will make other people better. That is to be the goal. So the point that I also add is the same scripture in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 33, where even if you think it's late for you, it's never late for your children.
Right.
It's also never late for what? Your grandchildren. So what about that? So it looks like you are telling everybody that is listening to us, whether old or young,
there's something for everybody.
Because it's your children's what? Children. So making a decision at the age of 70, even at that age, you may pass on an inheritance to your grandchild who can use your money to pay off. Because I told somebody, now I understand that if somebody is going to buy a house, $500,000, and now a $500,000 house is practically very little. If the house is worth $500,000 and the person pays $250,000, it means he has to pay an interest on only $250,000. Do you know the amount of savings? It is the person will save himself almost just by paying $250,000, half of a house of about 6%. The person can save themselves $500,000 for the $250 that they pay over the lifetime of that property.
Yeah. And in the same vein, let's say you can set up a child for, let's say, $1 million cash value life insurance. And so people under 30 would probably be paying about maybe 400 or let's say 500,000. So 500,000, you are a new grad working, you could probably be paying about $250 a month for that. And that $500 by the time you are probably 65 would be about over $1 million.
That is why I'm telling Michael you should take it easy.
And you have cash value that you can use to pull out, buy that real estate. So there's so many strategies that you can
What about using the cash value to go on vacation?
Yes, so it's your money. So nobody can determine what you should do with it. It is your money. If you wanted to use it to enjoy and travel the world, you can travel the world.
Yes. So
buy yourself a car, you can do whatever. No questions asked.
So I think hopefully our listeners have come to the understanding that you can never be rich enough for financial education, and it can never be too poor. Every poor person that is listening, if you consider yourself poor, you still have the chance. So thank you very much.
We didn't say where we're having the event.
So I was going to ask you. Okay. We wanted to summarize it but you can invite. I was going to talk about it, but I'll hand it over to you to tell people where we are having this. I think I've already said that it's going to be the 22nd, and specifically is financial literacy, and there will be many to come. This is something that Zenith will be talking about it, and we want people to know that it is a pay program is only $25. If you go to McDonald's 3 times, you go to $25 already there.
We are having breakfast.
Yes, so
good breakfast, good food, right?
So can you tell them about what we have as we close off?
Yes, so this is going to be at the DoubleTree by Hilton, and it's 5485 Twin Knolls Road in Columbia, Maryland. So this event is being sponsored by Nationwide, Ace Rehoboth Consortium, Advanced Cardiovascular Institute, and Zenith Chapel. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody there.
So we hope to see everybody there. And if you've not registered, we want you to go and register. Come in person. I can tell you $25 that you do for this will go a very, very long way. I thank God for the people that have come across in my life. I made some major financial decisions when I was in residency, actually. And that is why I have so much passion for the young people. Because when I heard that guy story, it really blew my mind. So I came home and I asked, what's going on? Because he was a resident. And he's the one that explained the whole thing about if you are paying this price, this is what you get, this is what you get. And it really changed. So thank you for joining us and thank you for listening. We are trusting the Lord to see you 2 weeks from now. Exactly. And I think the information is available on Zenith Christ Family Chapel Church website, where you can also register directly. Yeah. It's on various platforms within the DMV area. And I believe that as we started by saying, by wisdom, a house is built. By understanding, it is established. And hopefully people understand this last part. By knowledge, which we are going to get, you can cause it to grow. So God bless you for coming.
Bless you, Pastor.
Sister Angela, for all the knowledge you've given to us. May the Lord richly replace that for you.
Amen.
And I want to thank our technical team. That is Michael, who gives me a hard time always. And that is getting better. I believe that Michael may come. Michael, are you coming?
He's registered, so.
Oh, Michael has already registered.
This morning.
This is really fantastic. Congratulations. So hope we see a lot of young people out there. And I just look back and I said, God, what would I have done if I had not had the opportunity to be financially literate? So God bless you, and we hope to see you on the 22nd.
God bless you. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.